Okay. Yeah, last week we spoke extensively about Python, right? And we spoke about Python being a programming language, and we did some basic stuff on Python. We talk about the type of data. We talk about string and integer. We talk about list and dictionary. Am I correct? So we spoke extensively now, and we introduced ourselves to what Python programming language is all about. So today is going to be a continuity of what we did last week. So this week we'll be discussing more on control flow. So it will be more on control flow this week, and everything is similar to what we've done in the past. And remember, last week I spoke to you, I taught you how you can assign values to different variables, right? So you can say your x equals to 10, your y equals to 20, and we also talk about how we can perform mathematical operations, right? And we also spoke about how we can convert one data type to another data type. For instance, how you can convert a string to an integer if it is a number, or how you can convert an integer back to a string. So we spoke about that, and we also spoke about a list data set, and we spoke about a dictionary. So today we were talking about the use of controlling flow. So in this notebook, the statements used for controlling the flow of program are discussed. So you will know I will explain to you what I mean by control flow, right? And I said to that there are some examples to show how to work with iterative procedures. Now, so the first thing, let's define a variable. So in this, I already have sentence. So what that means is sentence equals to, this is CP255 hyphen, right? So I run that. Let's divide. Can somebody suggest another variable for us? Let's have another variable. Let's call it greetings. Let's do another variable, greetings. Let's say, don't forget, anytime it is a string, you have to put it in inverted comma, either single, double, or triple. So I'm using a single inverted comma. So let's say, how are you doing? For instance, right? So this is also a string. So we have two strings that we want to work with now. We have sentence equals to, this is a CP255, and the other variable is greeting. How are you doing? So if you want to, so let's print sentence first. So you know what I did there? I press once you have a variable defined, you press a tab. So write that. Can you see? So when time you sentence, what that sentence means is this is CP255, right? So let's also look for greeting. Greeting automatic. How are you doing? Do you understand that now? So we can also, okay, what type of data type is this variables that we define? You understand? It's always good to have to have knowledge of a data type. Yes. So you have to understand what type of data type are you working with, so that you will know which kind of operation you are going to perform on them. You know, the way you handle a string data type is different from the way you handle an integer, or the way you handle a list or a dictionary. So it is always important for us to know what is the type of data type we are looking at. And to do that, we use the function type. Type, open bracket, sentence, and when you click it, it says this is a string. Let's do the same thing for greeting. Let's look what data type are we, what data type is greeting also. So you use, to know the data type, you use type in bracket, then you can put greeting. So can you see? So the data type, they are both what? They are both string, right? And don't forget to talk about the function, the length function, length, and that shows you the number of index, the number of items in a variable. So if you look at this is 14, and for sentence there are 14. The length is 14. So let's do for greeting. For greeting, it's 18. So you may be asking yourself, where is Dr. Do getting this 14 and 16? And I said, don't forget, if let's go for sentence, our sentence is, this is CP255, right? exclamation mark. So if you count it from T, 1, 2, 3, 4, with space, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the length of the values of sentence is 14. If you do the same way, if you do the same counting for greeting, that's 18. Now, and don't forget, last time I also talked about how you can do is extraction of substring, right? So in this case, we use this when if you want to use index, right? So for instance, if you're interested in from index, let me put it so that you can let's define what greetings are, so that because we use them. Sentence, okay, greeting. Now, so for instance, now, if you anytime you see this curve comma, right? This comma is different from open. This bracket is different from this open bracket, right? This is a sharp shape bracket, and this is a normal bracket, right? So when you see this sharp bracket, that is talking about, you are talking about the index, right? So in this case now, if you are interested, so what this means is you are interested with from the number that has index 9, 3, 9. Okay, let me give you an example. You see, if you look right, when we look at by default, the sentence that you have here, this sentence is the same thing as you having this, right? So when you have this empty bracket, it's more or less like, sorry. So this, what you have here is by default, you are showing everything. But when you are interested in a particular, maybe you are interested in a particular set of that variable. So let's say, for instance, we want to start from index 3, index 9. And I think I mentioned last time that if you start from 3, if you put 9, that means you stop at 8. So if you look for this, you are trying to extract a substring from this string sentence. So it says x, from x is is space c. So let's look at the index. Don't forget, index start from 0, length start from 1. So from index 3 to 8, because we have 9, so it will include 9. Let's go back to sentence. It is 0, 1, 2, 3. Can you see? That's x. That's why we are having x here up to index 8. Don't forget, it will include 9. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you get that now? So I think we spoke about that last time. Let's do the same thing for greeting too. So let's say greeting. So all these things will help you to do subset different data for evaluation or analysis. So let's look at this. Let's assume, okay, we want to do for greeting. Let's say we are interested in doing, right? So we are interested in extracting the substring doing with the exclamation mark. So in that case, we have to have an idea of what is the index of D, right, up to the exclamation mark. So if I have to calculate it, that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we are starting from 12, right? Index 12. So this 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Because we want to include the exclamation mark, then our end will be 18. So if you run this, it's going to extract doing. Can you see? So we extracted doing from the O string. The O string is how are you doing? But because you are interested in doing, we extract only doing. Do you understand my point? So that's how you can extract. And one thing about this is you can also assign a variable. You can also assign a variable to whatever substring that you are extracting, right? Another function that I also have here is use the strip method to remove characters from the beginning and the end of a string. So now, if you look at sentence, I always like to, so that you can know sentence. This is sentence, right? If you use the function, this strip, right? You can, when you strip something, just a literal English word, when you strip something, that means you remove that thing out of that particular thing from its original place, right? So you can use this to strip this from anything from that string. So for instance, now, let's say let's assume want to remove this exclamation mark from, this is CP25 exclamation. So you can use that. When you do that, it will automatically remove this, right, from the value of sentence. So now let's do something. Let's now, if you look at the greeting, let's use strip to remove how are you, right? How are you from and from greeting, and it will give us only going. So to do that, we use greeting, right? Dot strip, isn't it? Then in brackets, then you can put how are you, right? Can you see? We only have doing. So you can use this strip similarly to what you have for using the index. So can you see what I did? So you can either use this or you use the strip function. But the only difference between them is when you are using the index, you have to know the index number of what you are interested in, and you specify it. But in this case, all you need to do is to type whatever you don't want it to appear again in your string. So that is so. And with everything we have done here, we only strip, but that does not change the value of the value of our variable. Can you see? Our string hasn't changed. Can you see? So if you run sentence again, you see this is CP255 prime. If you run greetings again, the greeting is see how are you doing? Can you see? It is see how are you doing? Any question from anybody so far? Is it clear?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, please, anybody, if there's anything that is not clear, the purpose of this is to make it clear. If I'm speaking, talking, and it's not clear to you, I've not achieved anything. So my achievement is for you to understand this. Okay, let's continue. Now, so do you understand? Do you see the difference between? So everything we have done here, this string, it does not change the value. It doesn't change the value because we didn't assign. We only strip. We didn't assign a new variable to them. Now, so let's create a new string to contain the strip version of your string. Now, so all those manipulations that we have done, you can decide to form a new string from an existing string. So for instance, let's say we want to make this is the original string, right? This is CP255 exclamation, right? But now you want to create another variable, another string where there is no exclamation on it. Instead of you deleting your sentence, you can create a new one, and that is it. We said new underscore sentence equals to string equals to sentence dot strip. What this means is remove this strip, this exclamation mark from this sentence, and save it into a new variable, a new string called new underscore sentence. Did you get that now? So if you ask for the if you ask for the what is the value of new sentence, it will give you this is CP255 that exclamation. So let's repeat the same thing for greeting. So let's call it this one. So let me first of all show you what greeting is all about. Greeting is how are you doing, right? So let's form a new string called new greeting. Right. So new greeting will equals to, so let's assume we want to take the original greeting is how are you doing, right? And let's assume we want to remove doing and we want to leave how are you only. So to do that, it will have to be greeting, right? Dot strip open bracket, right? This is a string, you have to put that. Now, we want to remove doing, and we want it to be, how are you? So let's put doing. Do you see that? And run it. So when we run it, let's now look what is the let's look for what is the value of new greeting now. New underscore greeting is, how are you? No. Okay, I know why. Okay, I know why this is not going through. Now this is another thing I want you to know now. Because you see this doing and the exclamation mark were written together, right? So that means you have to include the exclamation mark. If you include the exclamation mark, we should get that now. Yes. Because this doing and the exclamation mark were written without a space. Can you see that? They were written without space. So the Python sees it as a single word. But let's try something. We still want the exclamation mark to be there. Let's try the index method. Let's try the index method. So this is new. Let's call it new underscore greeting 2, right? Equals to greeting dot. So now we want to use the index way. So if you want to use the index way and we want to remove doing and we want the exclamation mark to be there, so that means we need to specify this. So that's the index of doing D. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So D from 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, right? And because we want us to stop at D, so it will be 17. 17. Let's do that. So let's look at what is going to happen to new greetings 2. New greeting 2. Oh, okay. So what we did there was to identify this. Okay. So what we did there was to have doing only in a new greeting. But what I want us to do is to have, how are you doing? That's what I want us to. Well, that's what I want us to. How are you doing with the exclamation mark? That's what I want us to do. How are you doing with exclamation mark? So in that case, the only thing what you can do is to, by the time you are defining your greetings, you have to put your greetings to be, you can put space in your greeting. So space. So if you put space in your greeting, then we can come back to where we are. We can come back to this place. So if you put space now, I think you should be able to have the exclamation mark now. No, this is strip. No, this is not what I'm looking for. So let's go back. New greeting. Okay. Let me do this. Doing. Yeah, we're supposed to remove this. Okay. 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 I don't know. Okay. Oh, sorry. That's now the strip method you can only use it to strip from the beginning and the end. Let me go back to where I have that. Now use the strip method to remove character from the beginning and end of a string. Yes. You cannot use it to remove from the middle. That's the mistake. Yeah. So you can use the strip to remove from the beginning and the end. So you can't use it to remove from the middle. That's why. And if you look at doing is at the middle, right? Doing is at the middle. That's why it's not. So you can only use the strip to remove from the beginning and at the end. That's why we are not getting that. Yeah, that's correct. So let me rectify this. So let's return this page together. Okay. So let's put exclamation right. Okay. So I believe you guys understand what we did there with what we did there now. So let's just delete this. Okay. So you can use that strip function to cut or to remove a string from the beginning or at the end, but not at the middle. Is it clear? Is that please clear to us? Any question? I always like to ask if there is any question, whatever anything that is not clear, so that we can address it once and for all. Do we have any question from anybody?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, so the next thing, you can create a string variable, and pass it into the strip method as an argument. Do you get? You can create a string variable and pass it into a strip method as an argument. Now, let me remind us statement. Sentence. Now, if you look at the previous method that we did, I'm going to now there are two ways we can strip this sentence. So let's say we are interested in removing CP255 prime, right? If we are interested in removing it, we can use this method. We can say sentence, right? Sentence dot strip, open bracket, CP255 exclamation mark, right? Can you see? So it is possible to do it this way, right? Okay, because of the example I want to use below. So can you see? So I can decide to, I can just type sentence dot strip in bracket that number I want to strip off. Can you see? Now, another way is to create a new variable, right? Now I can decide to put this 225 exclamation and assign it to call it a value and assign it to a new variable. So 2_strip equals to 255, right? Now, instead of now putting 255 like I did here, I will now say sentence dot strip. I've already said 225 exclamation equals to strip. Instead of putting this 225 exclamation mark in this place, I will just put 2_strip and automatically strip that for me. Let me give us an example with greetings. Another example with greetings. I'm trying to use two examples for everything to drive home our point. So let me first of all tell us what greeting is. This is greeting, right? Now, the first method I said is we can decide to strip greeting, right? Dot strip, right? So let's say we are removing doing, right? So how are you, right? Now, alternatively, is to assign, let's call it to strip greeting. Strip greeting equals to, so this is a new variable now. I'm going to assign the value to be doing. So to strip, so we are going to say call this to strip 2_, sorry, 2_strip greeting equals to, let's assign doing, right, to it, right? So when you are looking for strip underscore,
You heard it?
It will be, sorry, please kindly mute, please. Strip underscore greeting is doing. Now, let's now go back to greetings, and we want to extract how are you from greeting. So it will be greeting.
Every time he would just
Sorry, please kindly mute iPhone, kindly mute your kindly mute, please. iPhone, kindly mute.
You did? I took that one. Yeah, look at that.
Okay, sorry about that. So strip in brackets now. Instead of typing doing like we did here, we just type this new variable that has been assigned to doing. To underscore. Can you? No, sorry, not. Can you see now? So can you see what we have here and what we have here is the same? So you can either use greeting.strip, then you type the number you want to strip, and it automatically give you strip, or you can assign the number you want to strip to a variable, right? And once you define that, then you can put greetings the dot strip. Then instead of putting doing, you put whatever variable that you've assigned to the doing, and that is what we have. Can you see how are you doing? Is it clear to us, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm only hearing from I think that any. I believe every other person is following. And by the time we meet next week, it will be with some assignments. Now, we are now going to what is called to create a loop to iterate through each character in a string. Yes. When we're talking about a loop, the loop means there is, let's say there is a, let me just explain it in a simple term. Like you want to go through a O, right? So, or you want to go through each character that is in a string. So now now. So to do that, there are some command line loop word flow control flow words that are used for that, and one of them is for. So what you are saying here is for I. This I is index. Let me put I means index, and that index stands for character in each. So what I say is for index, don't forget the index in let me try to remind us what sentence is all about. I'm trying to put so that it won't be like, how is Dr. Do getting this? Now, don't forget the index here is from P to the exclamation mark. This is index 0, 1, this. What I'm telling Python now is for index in sentence. Now, I didn't specify what index. I just say for index in sentence, print I. What that means is this command, Python execution platform will go into this and look for, okay, for I, what is the first index here? Is T, print, right? To go back again, what is the next one after T? H, it will print. What is the next one after H? I, it will print. What is the next one after S? After I, S, it will print. So for I in sentence, print. When you are another thing is when you use this for in the command line, you put this column. And when you put this column, you press enter for an indent. This is indent in Python programming. This is not easy. This next line is not coming in the same line with for. There is like you press a tab when you are working with normal window. So for I in sentence, print I. So what this means is the Python will go to sentence. This is what is the first index? T, it will print T. What is the second index? H, it will print H. What is the next one? I, it will print I. Let's do the same thing for greetings. So for you can use that to use X. For instance, it doesn't necessarily mean it should be I. For X in greeting, right? Put this colon, enter tab, it will automatically create that index, print X. Can you see? So what I mean, for S, that means for each S in greeting, print S. For X in greeting, print X. So what this is going to do is, if you go the greetings, what is the first, because you said it should print all the X. What is the first X? H. It will type H for you. Go back again. What is the next X? O. Go back again. What is the next X? W. The next one is space. Down to the last point. Do you get my point? So that is that. Another function that you can also use is you can use the split to break a string into tokens. Yes. You can use this to break a string into tokens and just put this sentence dot split. And don't forget, sentence is this is CP255 exclamation. So it will break it into tokens. So this standalone, this standalone, CP255 exclamation standalone. Let's go for greeting. This is greeting, right? So if you put split, greeting dot split, it will break it for you into how are you doing. Can you see that? So we just break it. It does not affect the original value of sentence, right? It doesn't affect the original value of greeting. But if you want it to break like this, and you want it to have this as a new variable, yes, you can do it by assigning a new variable. You can say greeting underscore strip, so underscore split, or whatever name you want to give it, whatever name of your interest, right? Equals to greeting, right? Dot split, greeting dot split, right? So that's what is the value of what is greeting underscore split. Can you see? So if you want to have that break in a new variable, you can assign a new variable to it. But whatever we have done, it doesn't alter the value of greeting. But because if you're interested in this splitted one, you can create a new variable for it. And that is what you are, a new string or variable for it. When I'm talking about in Python, there is variable, there is value. So the variable is the name you are giving, like you are saving a document in Word. You know, the content of that document is the value, but the name of that file is the variable. For just example. So in this case, this split underscore split, this split underscore split is the variable, and these ones, splitted ones, are the value. So, and if you look at it, these are now, this is anytime you see your printout giving you this, it is a list. It is no longer a string. Do you get my point? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just give us 1 minute to just relax and boot a bit. Just 2 minutes. So we'll be back by 4:45. Just I don't want to bombard us with a lot of things. Let's just maybe you can just use that 2 minutes to stretch your leg or probably grab a cup of coffee or tea. Just 2 minutes. So we'll be back by 4:45.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, welcome back. So we've spoken about how you can split, how you can strip whatever string, and how you can save your result into a new variable. So let's go further. Right. So argument, you can ask orders of string to split as well, right? So you can, we've spoken about this split, you can decide to split. For instance, if you split I from this, that means you are removing I from all of this. And that's that. Because of time, we have not even gone to half of the script for today. Now, another function is to use the find method to return the index of the first instance of some substring within another string. Yes. Excuse me. Now, what this means is this: you use the find method to return the index of the first instance of some substring within another string. What that means is this: if we can use the find method to get the index of a particular character in a string. For instance, if you have sentence.find, right, that will give you, and you have in brackets, you have C. It will return to you the index value of C in this sentence. And let's look at this. When you run this, it gives you 8, right? So let's go back. Let's calculate what is the index of C in this. I believe you guys are following me. So index start from 0. Don't forget 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's why we get 8. So the index of C in this is 8. So you can use the sentence.find to get that. Another thing you can, this is just a single letter, you can use it for like 1 or 2 words. So let's say in this place, 2. Okay, let me show before we use that. Let me show. So let's say we are finding sentence dot find, and we are looking for, let's say we are looking for this. What is the index of this? Yeah, let's try. Now, if I'm looking for word, if you look at this, right? So in this case, this is a whole word. So this is going to be 0, right? And this is going to be 0, 1, 2. So if I'm looking for the index of this word, this is 0 because it will be 0, 1, 2. And the same way go. So another method we can also use if you are looking for find, just like we did for the strip, you can assign whatever we want to find to a variable. So we can use, if you look at it, _find equals to is. Then sentence.find, instead of putting is, you put the value, the variable that you already assigned to the word you are looking for. And if you run this, that's 2. So this 2 is coming from, this is 0, space is 1, this is is what? Is 2. And that is why we have, so the index of is 2 in this sentence. The index of this in this sentence is 0. Is 0. The index of C in this sentence is 8. So all these things, I want you to start thinking about it because we are still going to use them by the time we are getting to writing some short loop sentence, loop command. Okay. Now, creating a new list by splitting the string. I think we have shown that now. So, list of word. We did that. So, list of word, splitting sentence. Let me first of all take this one so that I can understand. So, if you split, so we are splitting sentence now. List. Don't let me use. Let me call it new sentence. New. Oh, no. New sentence. Right? So let's look at what is in new sentence. New underscore sentence. Can you see? So we split sentence into this separate is separate and CP255 separate. So this split, we now save it into a new variable or new underscore sentence. Right. Now, when you split this, when you split now, let's look at what is the type of sentence on its own. The type. of sentence. Sentence is a string, right? And that is why when you type sentence, this is what you have. A string always have this inverted comma up. Now, but because we have saved this, we have splitted it and we save it into a new variable. And this new variable splitted it, right? But in this case, we have this sharp curve bracket, right? If you let's go and look for the type of new underscore sentence. Is it still going to be a string? Let's check that. So type, no, it's type new sentence. And if you look, can you see this is not, so this one is different. This new underscore sentence is different from sentence. Sentence is a string, new underscore sentence is a list. Anytime you see your output in this with a sharp bracket like this, that is a what? A list. It is a, so this one new underscore sentence is a list and the other one is a string. Let's go. So another function is instance. Function tell you if some variable is an instance of some data type. Did you get my point? So let me put it so that I can understand what you have there. Now, this function is instance, right? It tells you if some function is an instance of some data type. Now, when you have a data type with you and you are not sure, is it a string? Is it an integer? Is it a dictionary? Or is it a list? You can type, open brackets, your variable, and to tell you, right? At the same way, you can also use the is instance. For instance, if you look at this new sentence, when we want to look what type of data is this new sentence, what we do is type into bracket new sentence, and it gives us list, right? Alternatively, you can use this instance to ask Python, is this new sentence a list? If it is a list and you run it, it tell you true, it's a list. But let's say, is this a string? Let's type and let's make this instance is new underscore sentence a string. Let's ask this question. What is the response? False. The response is false. So this function is to ask if the variable in a string is what type of data type it is. So what we did here is using this instance is new underscore sentence a list data type, and the response comes as true, which means that is a list data type. Now the next question is this new underscore sentence, is this a string? It gives us a response at false. That means it is not a string. Do you get the point now? And if you truly look at what we have in new sentence, let's look at it here. New sentence. Let's go sentence. This is truly a list, and it is not a string, right? So let's try another one for sentence. So let's say is instance is sentence a list. So we are asking now, is sentence a list? Let's see what it's going to tell us. It says false. Sentence is not a list. So let's try, is it a string? Is instance, is sentence a string? It says yes, true. Sentence is a string. Do you understand that? Now, yes, sentence is a string. Now, Another aspect that we're going is to see, okay, some functions are already programmed and stored in pre-built classes that are available to use if you just import them. Yes. There are some functions that are already inbuilt on Python that all you need to do is to import them. This is the essence of object-oriented programming. So in Python, there are some functions that are already installed on Python. All you need to do is anytime you need them, you do what? You import, right? So we are going to, I won't talk much on this now, but we are going to talk more on that by the time we get to module and packages, which we are probably, if you are able to finish this today, that will be what we are going to talk more next week. So I won't talk much on that now. So let's go to Boolean expression. Yes. So Boolean expression is one that can be evaluated by Python and interpreted as being true or false. Now, there are some statements you will ask Python. For instance, if you look at the first one we did, the instance, the question we ask is sentence a string? And Python responds to us and say, false. It is yes, it is a string. No, it is not a list, right? So there are other functions like that when you give the information to Python will read them and to give you a response that, okay, what you're asking me, it is true or it is false. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is what is called a Boolean expression. So when you ask Python, is this thing true or false? It will tell you it is true, it is false. Now, you can think of it as making an assertion and having Python to tell you if you are right or not in making that assertion. So it's like you can think of, you are making an assumption and you are waiting for Python to tell you if that assumption that you are making is correct or not. It does not pass moral judgment, but will tell you if your assumption or assertion is valid or not. Now, one of them is this equals to. Now, please, I want you to be careful of this. When we are assigning variables, we use single equals to, right? Single equals to. But when you want to ask questions, there is double equals to evaluate if both sides are equivalent. So this double equals to is different from single equals to. Single equals to is to assign a value to a variable. Now, double equals to is to evaluate if the statement of one side is equal to the statement of the other side. Now, for instance, 2 plus 4. Double equals to means is 2 plus 4 equals to 4. When you run it, it says 2. 2 plus 2 is truly equals to 4. Now, let's say 2 plus 2 equals to 5. So we are asking Python now, is 2 plus 2 equals to 5? Let's see the response. What does it say? It says false. So these are Boolean expression that when you pass it to Python will evaluate it as, okay, your statement is right or is false based on what you are telling Python. So if you look at this, 2 plus 2 equals to 4. Is 2 plus 2 equals to 4? It says true. Now, is 2 plus 2 equals to 5? It says false. So I want you to take note of that. Single equals to is different from double equals to. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please, I want you to get to listen and get that point. So now let's assign some variables now. Let's assign and compare variables. So let's say A equals to 1. Don't forget, this is just one variable. We are assigning value 1 to a variable A. A equals to 1, B equals to 1. So is A the same to B? That is the question we're asking now. So you say A is 1, B is 2. The last statement say, is A the same as B? And the question is what? True. So let's say, guys, let's make another variable called C. C is 5, right? Now, So let's now ask, is A equals to C? It is false. So A is 1, C is 5. They are not equal. And Python is telling us it's false. They are not the same. Another thing, you can also use the word, you can also use greater than and less than to ask your question. So in this case, is A greater than 10? What is the response? False. Because truly, the value of our A is what? It's 1. And A, 1 is not greater than 10. So it will give you false. So let's say, is A less than 10? Is A less than 10 now? It says what? It says true. Because the value of our A is what? Is 1. And truly, A is less than 10. Right? Another thing you can also use is the greater than or equals to or less than or equals to sign. Right? So if you say, is A greater than or equals to 1, the answer is what? True. If our A is not greater than, but it is equals to 1, right? Now, this another thing I want you to take note is this particular one. When you say, now, please take note of this. When you use a single, when you use single equals to, it means you are assigning a variable to A. But when you now put this exclamation mark, what you are asking is A not equals to B? So is A not equal? When you see this exclamation, it means not equals to. So is A not equals to B? That is the question that you are asking now. Is A not equals to B? And the answer is false. Because if you go up, our A is equals to B. A is 1, B is 1. So if you're not asking, is A not equals to B? It says false. I believe you are following that. So A equals to B, it says true. Now, alternatively, you now say, is A not equals to B? It says false. So let's say, is A not equals to C? And don't forget, from our definition, A is 1, C is 5, right? So definitely our A is truly not equals to, so the answer should be true. Do you get it now? The answer should be what? Should be true. Are we getting it, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, now, I want you to take note of that. When you have a single equals to, it's different from when you have double equals to. When you have exclamation mark and equals to, is another thing. So, the next thing is use and to return true if both conditions are true. Are you getting me? Now, use and return true if multiple conditions are true. Now, if you look at these conditions now, the question is A not equal to C? And the answer is true, because our A is 1, our C is 5, and it is true. But when you now use and means you want to match more than one condition together. So for Python to give you true when you use and, it means all the conditions must be true. If all the conditions are not true, Python will give you false. So let's look at this. C equals to 5, right? Is C greater than 2? That's the first condition, right? The second condition is C greater than 5? So let's ask ourselves, C is 5. Is C greater than 2? Yes or no? Nobody is responding.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
C greater than 3?
Yes.
So definitely Python will come true to us, right? So when you use and means the two conditions must be true. If one condition is true and the other is false, Python will give you false. Let's try another example here. So let's use if C greater than 2 and is C greater than 10, right? So if you ask ourselves, actually our C is greater than 2. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
But is C greater than 10?
No.
So if you click this, Python will give you false. So when you use that and to match two conditions, the two conditions must be true before Python can give you true. If you have 10 conditions and you use and for all of them, that means all the conditions must be true before you can get true. If 9 of the 10 conditions are true and 1 is false, Python will give you false. So let's go to another option. Another one is to use. Let me put this in so that you can know. Another one is to use or. So in contrast to and, in or, your answer will be either you return true if either condition is satisfied. So in this place now, not all your condition must not be true before you can get true. If one out of the condition is true, then it will give you true. It will give you true. But if none of them is true, it will be false. Let's do this example. Don't forget the value of C. C is equals to 5. C, right, less than 2. Is it less than 2?
No.
Or is C less than 5?
No.
No. And that is why we are getting false, because none of the two conditions are what? None of the two conditions is true. So let's make one out of the two conditions to be true, and let's see what we are going to have. So let's say C is greater than 2, or C is less than 5. So is C greater than 2?
Yes.
Sure.
Is C less than 5?
False.
No.
False. No. So, but when you use or, one of the condition must be true before you can get true. So let's run this. The answer is true. Because when you use the word or, as far as one of the conditions that you are giving is true, it will give you true. Unlike and all the conditions must be true before you can get true. But or, one condition must be true before you can get true. So if you put and in this condition, it will not give us true, it will give us 4. But because you are using or, so as far as or is concerned, one of the condition must be genuine. Okay. So so another condition so you can also, is C equals to 5? True, because C is equals to 5. So alternatively, if you look at this condition, now what you have here is using not. Use not to negate some condition. You can use not to negate a condition, just as the exclamation mark and the equals to together. So the question is, not into bracket C equals to 5. So not is C equals to 5. So is it true that C is not equals to 5? Can you see? If you look at this place, C equals to 5 is true, right? But now we are using this not to negate this statement. Is C not equals to 5? If you want to put this in a sentence, is C not equals to 5? And that is why we are getting false, because truly our C is equals to 5. So we are asking, is it not equals to 5? And it's saying false. So let's another example. D equals to true, not D. So it is not D, it is false. Do you understand that logic and expression there? Hello, guys.
Yes, sir.
Do you
Yes, sir.
understand that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Doctor.
Yes, sir.
I'm telling you, all these things we are talking about, there is going to be a point we are going to use all these things, we match them together to make some script. Okay, let's go. So last time we spoke about the modulus, right? We spoke about the modulus. The modulus tests whether or not we can divide two integers evenly, right? So to tell us if you can divide an integer evenly, it gives the remainder from the division. That is, what is left over after dividing the numerator by the largest multiple of the denominator. So in this case now, when you take 10 divided by 5 is what? Is anybody there? 10 divided by 5 is what?
2.
Is 2.
2.
So if you want to put it in decimal, it's 2 point what? 2.0, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you divide 10 divided by 5, there's no remainder. There's no remainder, right? No, nothing is remaining. So it goes through evenly. Now, but if you divide 10 divided by 3, right? So there should be 1 should be remaining. Am I lying? Am I correct?
Yes.
Do you understand what happened there?
Yes, sir.
So when you divide 10 by 3, when it's going to be, it will be 9 and 1 is remaining, isn't it?
Yes.
So let's do simple mathematics, right? Let's say you have, let's say you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, I'm not supposed to put it here. This one is correct. This is where we need it. Let's do elementary mathematics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we want to divide it by 3. So let's divide it by 3. So 1, 2, 3, right? That's 1. 1, 2, 3, right? That's 1. 1, 2, 3. What is remaining? How many is remaining?
1.
1. That is what this percentage sign gives. Modulus. Do you get that now?
Yes, sir.
That is why the answer to this equation is what? It's 1. But if you do the same thing for 10 and you divide 10 by 5, at the end of it, nothing is remaining. There's no remainder. That is why we are getting 0. Do we get our point? So let's do this for 10 by 4. It's 2. Do we know how we get the 2?
Yes, sir.
Let's just do the mathematics again to be clear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So let's divide it by 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many is remaining?
2.
2. Can you see why we get this 2?
Yes, sir.
So that's what. So modulus is the one to show if you can, if a particular denominator can divide the numerator without any remainder. Any remainder. So now, another control flow that we are going to deal with is if then and else control flow. If then else control flow. Now, this is getting interesting now, but it can only get interesting if you understand what we've been talking since last week. Now, use an if argument to execute an indented code only if some condition is true. Now, let's look at this. Let me use this example first. S equals to 9, right? So You see those if, then, and else, they are conditional statement. They are conditional, they are conditional commands, right? So something will only happen if those conditions are true. For instance, x equals to 9, right? If x is less than 10, print string x plus is less than 10. Don't let me use it this way. Let me just say print for understanding. Print 9 is less than 10. Now look at this thing. I will explain. So what we are saying here is we already define s. S is equals to 9, right? So if x is less than 10, then Python to print 9 is less than 10, right? And when you execute this code, Python will go back and say, okay, the value of x is 9. If x is less than 10, are you getting me? Python will now ask, is this condition fulfilled? Is it true that our x is less than 10? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. And your statement, so if x is less than 10, then Python should give you a printout that x9 is less than 10. Did you get that now?
Yes, sir.
So let's do this again. We are still going to stick with x equals to 9, right? Now, when you take note of this word, for, if, then, else, when you use them, for they are operators in Python. When you use them, the next you have to put a column at the end of them, and there will be an indent. This is the column, and this is indent is like you are pressing a tab. It's not going to start under this. There will be a space. So let's say if x is greater than 10, right? Print, let's use the same thing. Print 9 is now is greater than now, not less. Is greater. Is greater than 10. So now it is now left to Python to look at the conditions. If the condition is true, it will print. If it is not true, let's see what it's going to do. So x is equals to 9. If x is greater than 10, is x greater than 10?
No.
No. Let's see what Python is going to print for us. Can you see? Did it print anything for us?
No.
No. Why? Because this condition is not fulfilled. Did you get it? That, you know, just like you are going to, maybe you are going to, maybe you are going to something, and you said to, maybe you are going out, and a friend of yours is coming to visit you, and you say to mommy, please ma, if my friend, maybe your name of your friend is Max, if Max come today, or come if Max come, tell Max I'm not at home. I'm just using that as an example. So your mommy will only tell Max you are not at home only if Max comes to your house to check on you. Am I lying? So if Max didn't come, you understand, mommy is not going to say anything, isn't it? So if the condition is fulfilled, then Python will print. The condition is not fulfilled, it will be quiet like this. See, I'm running the script, nothing is happening. Do you guys get my point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to add, I want to show here now. Instead of putting this 9 that I have here, we can decide to, now let me see one of this meeting where what I said, all the things we've learned in the past is very important. Let me write this script, and I want someone to explain this script for me. to me. Anybody tell me the difference between what we have here, 9 is less than 10, and this place, string into bracket x, right? Comma, sorry, no, yeah. Can anybody tell me the difference between these two? This and this. So,
I think nine will be okay. Now you remove the 9. I was gonna say 9 will be repeated, but it's the same. It will be that if x is less than 10, then you print that 9 is less than 10.
okay.
But 9 will be a string.
Thank you very much.
An integer.
Thank you very much. Because don't forget, I have this is a string. This is a string, right? Am I lying? This is a string, isn't it? This less than 10 is a string, right? Now, can you add a string to an integer?
No, you can't. Well, you can. If you do that, the integer will become a string.
Thank you. Just like your mathematics, you cannot say 10 plus a will equals to 10a. Does it work like that?
No, it doesn't.
No. So for you to be able to add them together, you must convert our x, which is originally here, it's an integer. You must convert it to a string by putting a string function at the back of it. Did you get it now? So when I run this script, it says 9 is less than 10. So whatever I've done here, it does not affect our x is still an integer. But for the purpose of printing 9 as a string, we have to put a string function at the back of it. And I put this space. If I didn't put this space, it will join in together. So this space, so 9, this string. So don't forget I said we can add string plus string. Isn't it? So that is exactly what I did there. Thank you very much for that very thoughtful response. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's go. We have like 30 minutes. Let's go further. Now, we are getting to interesting part, and whatever we've learned in the past is going to be useful. The same manner, you can chain conditions together with either and, or, and don't forget we spoke about that in the beginning. So let's look at this. X is equals to 3.5, right? So if x is greater than or equals to 5, and x is less than or equals to 6, right? Print x is between 3 and 6. Do you understand that concept? So our x is, the value of x is 3.5. Now this is the condition. If x is greater than or equals to 3, 1, and if x is equals to, is less than or equals to 6, then print that x is in between 3 and 6. And don't forget the conditional statement for and. The two conditions all the conditions must be what? Must be true before you can get response. So when we run this script, it gives us x is between 3 and 5. And let's check ourselves. Is x greater than or equals to 3?
Yes.
Yes, because the value of x is 3.5. Is s less than or equals to 6?
Yes.
So truly, the value of x is between 3 and what? And 6. Am I correct?
Yes.
Now let's now do this. Let's do this again. Let's change this condition to, let's change this to greater than. Now let's see what is going to happen. So if x is greater than or equals to 3 and x is greater than or equals to 6, print this. Did it print anything?
No.
No, because this, as far as we use end, the two conditions must be what? Must be true. And when it is true, that is when we can print this statement. Am I correct?
Yes.
But so that's the way. So when you give a conditional statement, Python is going to check, okay, is this condition that you are giving me, is it true? If it is not true, Python will not do anything. Let's use another example that is not number. So let's see, let me look for someone's name here. Yeah, I think we have Roy. Roy equals to girl, right? I'm just using that as an example. So if Roy equals to boy, for instance, right? Print Roy is a boy. I'm just using that as an instance, right? Let's print that. Okay, sorry. We have to make this to be a string as well. Yeah. Now, can you see? So I'm just using this as an example. I'm just using, so we say Roy is equals to a girl, right? So if Roy is equivalent to a boy, print Roy is a boy. But unfortunately, that condition is not true, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And because the condition is not true, it's not printing anything for us, right?
Right.
So let's now try this condition again and switch that, and let's use this example and switch the condition, right? No, so if this is correct, then Roy is a boy. Can you see? Because the condition here is what? It's correct.
Right.
Yeah. Another example of this is your smartphone. Yes. Everybody, you have access code to your phone. Am I correct?
Yes.
So
Yes,
let's say
sir.
phone access equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. That is your code, right? If phone access equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Sorry. Right? Print unlock phone. Hey, sorry. Can you see? I was supposed to use Q equals 2. Can you see? So if the phone access code, let's say this is my phone and this is my password. I already set my password to 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you come now and if somebody come and the person gets my password and he eventually puts 1, 2, 3, 4, definitely this is the script that is given to your phone. Once you put the correct code, your phone will unlock, right? But let's say we now mistakenly put 154. Nothing is going to happen to the phone. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yes.
So that is the same approach that is being used in phone 2. That is the same approach. So let's continue. Now, so what we have done is if the condition is correct, print. Now, we can also try to do we can also add some things. If the condition is not correct, is there another thing that can be done? You know, I can say if, like this example, let me use this real example. If Roy equals to a girl, no, I say Roy equals to a girl, if Roy is a girl. If Roy equals to a boy, print Roy is a boy, right? So when you run the code, nothing is happening. At the same time, I can also give another condition that if the fourth condition is not met, then you can do this. And that is what we want to do now. Now, let's use this example. I already put a note. If the first statement evaluates to false, elif execute a code block if its condition is true. Let's execute a code block if no preceding if or elif evaluated to true. Now, this is what we mean. Now, let's look at this. X equals to 10, right? If x is greater than 10, so if x is less than 10, right? Print x is less than 10. Are you with me? Hello?
Yes.
Now, this is the first condition is given. So when you put, so if x, we already divide x to be 10, right? But if x is less than 10, print that x is less than 10, right? That is the first condition that the Python is going to evaluate. Now, if that condition is not true, you can now say, okay, let's assume x is not, this condition is not, x is not less than 10. Can you say elif x equals to 10? Print x equals to 10. So if x is not less than 10, you can give another condition that, okay, if the first condition is not met, elif, that's another condition, let's try s is equivalent of 10, right? Now, when Python try this first command, if s equals to 10, if it is false, Python will jump to this other command. If this condition is true, Python will print that out. If this condition is not true, you can also give it again that s. So it's either s can be less than 10, s can be equals to 10. So if s is not less than 10 and s is not equals to 10, then that means our s is what? Is greater than 10, isn't it? So we can now say else. That means if these two conditions are not met, then s print s is greater than 10. I don't know, maybe you guys follow me.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
if you run this command now, the answer is s equals to 10, because the first command, s is not less than 10. That is why it is not printing s equals to 10 for us, right? The next one, s is equivalent of 10. That condition is true, and that is why s is giving us what? S equals 10. Now let's adjust this condition again. So let's now change it to x equals to 20, right? So if s is greater than, let's use 10, right? This is less than 10. So please always know this. When you define your x equals to 10, you press enter to go to the next line. When you use if s, your condition, you always put this colon. And when you put the colon, press enter. Automatically, Python will add the indent for you. You don't need to stress yourself about it. But the moment Python sees this if, and this colon, it will automatically add the indent for you. So x is equal to 10 is 20. If x is less than 10, print x is less than 10, right? Sorry. Now, given that condition, so we have to cancel that indent. Elif means if condition is not fulfilled, right? X equals to 10, right? Print x equals 10, right? Let's now assume none of the first conditions is applicable. You now use, that's when you now use s. Print s is greater than 10. Now let's run this. The answer is what? S is greater than what? 10. Can you see that? So let's go back to this script. Our x is equals to 10. The first condition is x is less than 10. Is our x less than 10?
No.
No. So once that statement is not true, Python will go to the next condition. Once that condition is not true, it will go to the next condition. Is our x equivalent of 10?
No.
No, it's not.
So that one is also false. It moves to the next statement, the next condition. And the next condition says, once these two conditions are not met, then print x is greater than 10 for me. Do we follow?
Yes.
Yeah. So once I think someone is, I can hear myself. Okay. So once your first two statement is not true, it will execute the last statement. But if your first statement is true, it will just stop at that first statement, first conditional statement. It won't go to the other ones. Do we get the point now?
Yes.
Yes. Now, there is what is called encapsulation. So encapsulation means, you see, all these things that we have been doing, we have to define every time. We have to define our x, right? We have to say x is equals to this, x equals to this. But it's possible for us to give a definite value of x, also it's possible to define our, let me see, to always input our value. Now let me give this example. When you see this function def, right? My function, I'm going to explain what this means to us. In bracket value. So when you see what this means is define my function. So my function, what is the value of my function? It is not left for you to put. I'm going to show you what this means. So if value is less than, so in this command, it is left for you to input the value, your value. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you a real example. We are going to write that script from the beginning. Let me just explain this. So define my function in bracket. What is the value of my, so the variable, like define this, my underscore function is a variable, and give the value. What is the value? So if the value here is less than 10, means the value is less than 10. Elif, if the value is equal to 10, it's equivalent of 10, means the value equals 10. Are you with me? S, print the value is greater than 10. Let me first of all call this case. Like, I want to show something. Okay. That's what I want to confirm. Okay. Now, I want to show you the difference between this part and this part. is this first line, right? Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
Now, this part, at the beginning of our statement, we always put x equals to 20, isn't it? In this part, we give this to be an open value. So you define your function, my underscore function to be a value, right? So anytime you keep that, so anytime you call this function, you put your, now let me use an example. Thank you. How many of us have you filled a form online and they ask you that what is your age? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
There are some applications when you are applying for it, they may say, okay, if you are more than 10, 20 years old, you are not qualified, right? If you are less than 20, you are qualified, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, because they know that any different people of different age will come and input their age, right? So they can't put x equals to 20. No, they have to give that value to be open. So anybody will just come and input their age, right? And everybody will start putting their age. Let me write another script using it. So let me use this example. So this is a scholarship for anyone between age 15 and 20. So that is the condition for this scholarship. So if you qualify for this scholarship, right, your age must be between 15 and 20 years. Are you guys following me? I want to explain that particular piece practical example, right? So define age, right? Let me put it value. So define my underscore age. So let's put age in brackets. Are you with me? So now, the first thing if you want to apply for this scholarship, to first of all check for your eligibility. Am I eligible to apply for this scholarship? So if age, right, if age is less than 15, are you getting me? Print you are not qualified for this scholarship. Are you guys with me?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you. Now, elif, age is greater than 20. Are you with me? So if your age is greater than 20, it will still be the same thing. You are not qualified for the scholarship. Are you with me?
Yes.
Right? Now, else. So if your age is less than 15, you are not qualified. If your age is above 15, above 20, you are not qualified. So if these two conditions are not met, definitely your age should be between 15 and 20. Am I correct?
Yes.
So S print congratulations Congratulations. You qualify for this scholarship. Are you there? Now, we run the script now. So, I've run the script now. So now, let's say I am the first one that comes. So when you come, all you need to do is type my age, right? In brackets, and put your age. Let's say my age is 30. Do you see that now? So press enter. What is the response?
You are not qualified.
Now, can you see? Now, in this case, when you are filling this kind of form online, my age will be part of the things you will fill online. Do you get my point? But in this one, we already define x. So if this one, we already define x equals to 20. There is no opportunity for students to put their own age. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes.
but in this regard now, so let's say this is for, let me say this is age for Temi. Now, Temi is 30. Temi did his own. So another person come, let's say this is age for Roy. I'm sorry if I'm using your name. Now, so Roy too will come, fill in his own age. Let's say Roy's age is 19, right? First, what does this say? Congratulations, you qualify for this scholarship. Are you with me?
Yes.
Because I'm the one that set up this scholarship. I know your age must be between 15 and 20 before you can qualify. So I already write it on my website. All you need to do is just tell me your age. The first thing to know whether you qualify. So I already have it. So I already defined my age. So all those things, when you go online to input your name, so you see they ask you your surname, or the surname or family name, your first name, your middle name. You understand? They use this define function. So yours is just to go there and input your name. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yours is to go there and input your name. But if they use this x equal, they assign age. They already assign age. Age is equal to 20. Nobody will have potential of inputting their name. That's the difference between when you use this. So if you look at encapsulation, turns a handful of statements into a usable function. So I can input different age into this age value without rewriting the script. But in this case, if I want to put age 20, I will have to put age 20 and start adjusting this, but this is already written. So let's now say another student comes now. Let me look for another. Okay, I think we have Chelsea online. Let's see Chelsea age now. Let's now come and say, okay, I want to fill your form. Okay, to see if I qualify for your scholarship. Let's now say my own age is 14. Let's see if Chelsea qualifies. You are not qualified for this scholarship. Can you see that? So without adjusting this script, all you just need to do is just put your age. That's what I need. Once you put your age, this script is hidden. Most of the form you fill online, do you see their script? Hello?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Do you used to see their script when you fill their form online? Their Python script?
Yes, sir.
No, you don't see their script. Do you see, okay, like TSU website, when you are working on TSU website, do you see their Python script for the website?
No, sir.
You can't see their script. You only give you where to input values. So in the same manner, this script is hidden to me as I'm the one that wrote it. All you are seeing is just to put your age. So we can define that particular function. That is called encapsulation. So just come there. Another student can come and say, okay, my name is Annie, right? And let me put Annie's age. Let's say my age is equals to my age is, let's say my age is 17. Congratulations, you qualify for this scholarship. So that is how conditional, that's what is called control flow, right? So if you look at each condition on this, so this is a scholarship for anyone between age 15 and 20. So I already have one defined. First of all, define your age. I put it an open bracket. So if the age you are giving me, if the age is less than 15, let my website tell you that you are not qualified for this scholarship. If your age is greater than 20, you are not qualified for this scholarship. Yes. That means if these two conditions are not met, that means you qualify for this scholarship, because my scholarship must be for someone between 15 and 20. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have just 5 more minutes. So let's do one or two things. Maybe we stop at this today. The next week we continue from this. Yeah. So now your function can return results that can be used elsewhere in your code. Yes. Okay. How do I explain this? Okay, let me try. So let's look at this. We have this place now. You are defining a variable now. Define greater underscore than. So that means you will be the one to enter. So in bracket we have x, comma, y. So when you define a particular value, yeah, that means the user will be the one to input whatever value is going to be. So if x is less than y, you return true. X return false. Do you get that now? So what you are defining here is let me use greater than. Let me use average. Let me just, I want to use something that you can. Average boy and girl age. So let's say the average boy and girl age on this group, on this core, we want to look at it. So let me put this one to be boy's age, right? Boy's age, and this one to be girl's age. For instance, I'm just using so that for a simple now. If boy age is greater than girl age, right? Return true. So this can be so if this condition is true, then it will return true for us. Else, if this condition is not true, tell us it is false. Are you getting me now? So let's now print. Let's print average. So it's capital letter A. Average boy age, right? So let's say the average boy age is 30 and average girl age is 35. Let's print. Oh, sorry, don't mind me. So average, can you see? This is one of the good thing about Python. When there is an error, it will tell you there is an error. And to tell you where it says in this, it highlights it in yellow, average boy. It says name average underscore boy underscore age is not defined. So when that is not, that means this variable is not available. And if you go back there, truly, what I have is average underscore boy underscore girl underscore age. And I put average underscore boy underscore age. So I have to go and correct that to, I have to go and correct. I have to, that this is where the problem, so underscore girl, right? Let me see. Okay, let me just print this there. Is there a difference? Oh, I didn't run that script before doing this. Okay, sorry. What happened is I made this script, but I forgot to run it. So you have to run this script. So if you didn't run it, it will still assume nothing like that. So now can you see this now? So print average boy underscore girl underscore age. So the condition now is this condition is not true, right? And because the condition is not true, it's giving me false. So let's do this again, and let's switch that. Let's say the boy is 45 and the girl is 35. It says true. So it can help you to return that function. So that's where we're going to stop today. Do we have any question?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Any question?
How
Is
about
this clear?
I ju-
Okay.
sorry, Doc. I don't have any questions about the exercises you've given us, or the ones you've shown in giving the solutions. I was gonna request maybe if you send, if you have the time, if you let us have like small exercises that we can do, because we've read the Jupyter Python file you sent to us, and then following on this, can you like give us exercises that kind of follow this, but are different from the examples you've just shown us? That way we can use it to practice, and if we have any problems, email you directly, if you have the time to maybe give us solve it and then send back to us.
Yes, that's good. If you at the beginning of the class today, I mentioned it. That starting from next week, there will be assignments, and this assignment will revolve around what you have been taught. So I will probably give you some conditions, and I will ask you to probably work on it. So I'm going to give you different set of things that you can work on independently, and when we meet, we can probably do this on our own ourselves. We can probably look at it together and see where anywhere you guys have made mistake, then we correct it together on this call together. So I understand that, and I'm going to effect that. Is it clear?
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right. Any other question before we go? Please feel free if you have any question, anything is not clear, send me email. I think everybody should have my email address. Send me your email, send me an email, then we can discuss that. If there's for me to schedule a meeting, maybe like a short Zoom meeting with you to do that, we can do that as well. So thank you very much for today. Thank you so much, guys. So next week, right, we meet again, isn't it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we meet next week.